Okay, guys. Okay. But you can't tell anyone. You can't tell anybody about this. You gotta keep it a secret. You can't. Oh, hi everybody. I'm Palpatine from the Geeky Puppet Show. Here on the Geeky Puppet Show today for what? For a secret invasion. Joined us
with your mother.
No, not with my not with my mother.
With your father.
No, for the love of God, no.
With your brother.
Well, he's okay.
And your sister.
She doesn't exist.
And your butler.
I wish.
God, I wish. Anyway.
And the mailman.
My actual father?
No, that's the milkman.
Anyway, joined as always by Froggy and, well, not always Zach, but sometimes Zach.
I've been here for every review we've done.
We've done two. We've done two, Zach.
And I've been here for two of them. Dang it. I want my credit.
This makes three.
Well, okay, so three of them.
I honestly forgot you were here last week.
I was here
He was here?
week. Yeah, I was here.
We were here last week?
I was here last week, yeah.
Oh, right.
Okay, wasn't here. I was here. You're getting me
you mean the Anne friend?
Yeah, you're getting me confused with the Anne friend.
I thought you said Luke Cage at first.
Oh, Zach wouldn't talk about Luke Cage. Not in a positive light, anyway.
Positive?
I'll be here next week.
Yes.
Speaking of which, let's go ahead and talk.
Positive, Emilia Clarke is actually pretty hot in this.
I mean, yeah, she's Emilia Clarke. Right?
Isn't she hot? That's what I would.
When she's Sarah Connor.
She wasn't bad as Sarah Connor. I will say that. I will go on the fence. I will go and offer my hot take there.
I didn't watch the television show, so I didn't have to worry.
No, she wasn't in the television show. She
Genesis.
Was in Genesis.
Oh, I didn't watch. Oh, I actually did watch that movie with my father.
It's not,
but I forgot about it.
Son, we had fun.
Part of it.
Not you. Dear God.
We had seasons in the sun.
Anyway, this episode, well, we do get to finally talking about wife. Fury's married. We learned that at the end of last episode. But in this episode, we actually get a scene between them. We start back in 1998, a year that's familiar to us for some reason, or at least me. And
yeah,
we see as they have the CGI to make them young, or maybe it's just good makeup.
I remember 1998.
It's great.
When the cult, the cult of Michael Myers. Well, they found you instead.
I was the baby born. But no, we learned that Fury's wife, him, met around then, thought about getting together, and they clearly did. However, it's time to face some trauma. Because...
Did he deal with a Skrull?
Yeah, well, no, he's fine with her being a Skrull.
Yeah.
He
doesn't of course he is, but like I said, we don't know Skrull and anatomy,
Anatomy.
I say what I say. You don't like
what the fuck did he say?
He said etymology.
Etymology.
It's anatomy, and it's that I don't even want to think about. So thank you.
It's clearly compatible.
Yeah, clearly. God.
There's still
there's a hole, there's a way.
Oh God. I won't be here next week. I'm saying it right now.
Sue Richards can't do anything with Namor. Who knows about his etymology?
Thank you for bringing homage to my word.
Oh gosh.
Anyway. Anyone notice, right?
We had those, and then they blipped away.
Yes. And the blip is part of the trauma because Nick Fury apparently, whenever he was snapped away, his wife had to grieve through all that. That was 5 years. Then he comes back and he's like, no, and goes to a space station to not face his problem.
She basically
Woman, I'm
calls
out
him,
of here.
yeah, she calls him a selfish son of a bitch. So since then, she's been working with Gravik.
Yeah, that's basically what we learned.
Well,
Like,
way to jump straight to the end.
I mean, that's
There's
fine.
really not much plot to
Tell
this.
us something
Nick
like
Fury
that.
discovers a Skrull plot. Everyone he abandoned hates him.
That is, the title of the episode is Betrayal.
Well,
Yeah.
technically, I would say Ben Mendelsohn actually had the chunkier, like, more interesting parts of the episode.
Oh, I love. He's a great actor.
Talos is awesome.
If you see him in any of his other shows, he's still fantastic. But he's also good in this. When he and Fury have this chemistry. We said it in the first episode, but it really shines in this one.
It's like a more antagonistic.
Please,
it's not buddy cop. It's like because they don't like each other clearly after the last week's episode.
Can we just not say chemistry between two guys? Being this is Disney.
No, guys can have chemistry.
No, they can't.
Starsky and Hutch had chemistry.
No.
Yeah.
The only people who had is Jesse and Walter White.
Andy Griffith and Barney Fife had chemistry. Like, chemistry does not have to correlate to just a guy.
Banging.
But we live in 2023, so exactly what you think is the opposite.
I'm not going to bend to woke language. I'm going to continue using language as it was intended.
So I like that Nick Fury, after all this, gets shut down by his wife and he can't trust her anymore. He grovels back before Talos. I need your help.
He doesn't get shut down by his wife.
He doesn't get. He doesn't get shut down. He
well,
could work on it.
She pretty much calls him a jackass, and then
she still kisses him, and they still
kiss and make up. They kiss and make up and go.
You have
back to business as usual.
Yes, she gives him a little kiss, but ultimately you don't know a woman, and she's a Skrull woman, so they hold even longer grudge.
Yes. Because she's a Skrull.
So now we're being racist towards Skrulls, and we're perpetuating stereotypes.
Well, yeah, you are.
Well, you were already racist towards Skrulls.
No. When it comes to green women, I've made my position very clear. She-Hulk, the Orion girls from Star Trek, green is okay.
Oh, sure you are. Yeah. You're an expert on everyone but your own race, aren't you? I'm green. I can talk about green privilege.
Except this guy. I don't like this green one. This green
privilege here, bro.
It's okay.
Anyway, though, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Wait. Hell hath no fury, and neither did his wife for many years. Yeah, but when he came home, she welcomed him, gave him a kiss. They're in a tough place right now, but they clearly have history. They have history together, and the first scene you get to see their chemistry. It's a different kind of chemistry, but it's still chemistry.
It's green crystals instead of blue.
That's right.
Crystal
I'm trying to think. Basically, they stop a nuclear bomb from destroying a UN airplane.
Yeah, because also the reason it's called betrayal because Gravik he knows there's a mole and he knows that it's Talos' daughter.
Oh, I'm gonna say this because this bothers me. So Talos, he clearly, whenever he is trying to get the information from the Skrull, because they have to go into the whatever it is. He's in the I'm trying to think. My words are losing.
Where in the episode are you talking about? Are you talking about when he talks
They
to Gravik?
go ahead and infiltrate the Skrull who has infiltrated the government.
Well, they went to the Well, there's one.
The British guy. The British guy. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know what the one when they actually 3 Skrulls went into the NATO base. They're gonna basically go into the Royal Air Force.
No, not that. The other way around. I'm talking about after Fury and we're
getting all mixed up here. Yeah, we're getting.
So is Disney.
So first of all, Talos goes to meet with Gravik, and is basically like, you need to leave my daughter alone and stop trying to
Yeah,
murder
the art
innocent
museum.
humans. And that was actually a pretty cool scene because you could tell when Gravik starts to like bring up his daughter, you see Ben Mendelsohn's character start to lose it. And like that's where you see this really cool scene where all the people around him shapeshift and turn into
Yeah,
Gravik.
did you notice that was the John Wick scene?
What do you mean?
John Wick 4?
What are you
With the
talking about?
knife through the hand? He makes him pull it out?
Oh yeah. He stabs him in the hand. Yeah.
Mr. Weak.
Don't you ever say my daughter's name ever again.
I was actually jumping to a point
balloon?
well after this.
Yeah, you were jumping. Yeah, you were going. Yeah, towards.
Yeah.
So what's found out is they have 3 Skrulls that are going to start a huge war. Because so Gravik tells the Skrulls that are undercover as the prime ministers and everyone. He's like, we're gonna start a war. We have super Skrulls now that can fight Earth's heroes. They don't show them. They're just talking about them. But he's like, yeah, we have 3 guys that are gonna go undercover as these UN or these British soldiers or British sailors or whatever. And so the plan is they go onto a submarine, and the trick is to get the submarine to launch a nuclear missile against a giant airplane carrying a bunch of UN ambassadors or
I
personnel.
can't wait till Shooter McGavin gets his powers.
Until who?
Shooter McGavin is one of the Skrulls that he was talking to. He was talking about, we're gonna be super Skrulls. We're all gonna get powers. Shooter McGavin that was standing there from Happy Gilmore.
Oh, that's the tall kid with the ear flap hat.
Oh my gosh, you've never watched Happy Gilmore?
No, I have not.
Cancel this.
No, I haven't either.
So Fury calls Olivia Colman's character, who is also a really good actress and a bright spot in this episode. And
Christopher McDonald is the guy's name.
Okay, I have no idea. What you'd have to tell me which Skrull he was or something.
He's the tall one. He looks old. He's got a huge nose. He's white.
Okay.
They're the 5 Skrulls. They were standing there for the NATO people when they're talking to Gravik.
Okay. I'll have to go back and look at a lineup of them. But they find out that, there's a Skrull posing as this British Prime Minister or Defense Minister. And so Nick, Fury, and Talos go to infiltrate his house, I guess, or his mansion. And
this is where I come in, because that's what I was trying to get to. Okay. So basically, Talos goes in first, Fury following, and you get to see as Talos goes through. He looks in one of the rooms. Oh, look, a boy's in there. It's the son. And
wait, Biden's in there?
No, I'm apparently Biden. But he goes ahead and passes that. And then goes when he patches through to Fury, he says, Nick, it's all clear. You can go to this door, blah, blah, blah. And Fury's like, okay. And we see this shot going up the stairs. And soon Fury's coming in. He's holding the son in one hand, gun to his jaw. As you can see, Talos has been captured. And because, obviously, he has my boy, the Skrull who wants to blow up the world, or at least the UN ambassadors, goes ahead and gives up the gun. But he's not going to give the code. You get to hear him basically kind of belittle Talos, saying, oh, we would have followed you if you had actually been the general you were supposed to be. You don't care about us, blah, 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 blah. And then he starts bringing up his daughter, and that's when Talos kind of loses it. Fury shot him in the knee, but Talos shoots him in the gut, and he dies. And so he urgently messages his daughter, blowing her cover. And Gravik has been suspicious of her this entire episode. You can tell. You can just tell. But goes ahead and gets it. Gets her to go into their data mind thing and absorb the knowledge so that she can find out the code for the nukes, the keyword. And I'm pretty sure it's the son's name.
Yeah, it is. Which is my name.
Which
Zachary.
Yes, exactly, Zachary Binks. But it's
you.
such an obvious thing, and I know you don't want to mess up, you don't want to risk it, but it's such an obvious thing that you feel like Nick Fury should get that. He should get, oh, well, if he's choosing the code, what could it be? It wasn't going to be chili cheese dogs. It wasn't going to be pumpernickel. It was going to be something that mattered to him. And what matters more to a man than his firstborn son? Sorry, secondborn son. But they stop it. It's okay. But Gravik, we don't hear from him as Talos tells his daughter, hey, get out of there. I know I blew your cover and all that, but get out of there.
Yeah, it's obvious. Like she's like beating up guards that are standing outside of the computer room, and like it's obvious. Like you're not going to be able to hide this because you've got 2 witnesses. I think she might have shot one of them, but like the other one, she just like knocked them out. So it's like, yeah, you weren't very smart about getting in there.
Yes.
But,
so I want to quickly show you. So basically, the intercabal for Gravik's team has Christopher McDonald playing. He's playing the news anchor. This is the Christopher McDonald right here.
Oh, that guy.
Shooter McGavin, bro. The white Happy Gilmore.
Oh, I recognized him from Leave It to Beaver. He was and Flubber. He was in Flubber.
Yes.
He was Robin Williams' rival for Marcia Gay.
Crazy thing is that most people thought he was going to be Norman Osborn at first.
I could see it, but I don't think he's big enough to be Norman Osborn. Anyway. So yeah, so she finds out the password, tells it to Talos. Talos stops the whole nuclear launch. And
are you saying that people thought he was something of a scientist himself?
Oh
yeah. So it's crazy when you find out the password is password.
No.
Yeah, it was such an obvious password. It was such an obvious code. And
like anybody that finds out, like anyone who knows his son can take a guess at his password.
So the other thing is revealed is that when Gravik finds out, he shows up in his car and meets her, and then he just shoots her and then leaves.
So what happens, you're oversimplifying it. Gravik says to Gaia, it's like, because Gaia knows that, Gaia just brings up, she's like, oh, hey, sorry that the launch failed or whatever, because she heard that, or she uses the excuse. She's trying to flee the compound. Gravik catches her. She's on her way out on a motorcycle. She's like, I heard that our plan got aborted or whatever. I was trying to go pick people up. And he was like, yeah, getting the UN plane and blowing it up would have been great, but the whole point was to find out who the mole was, because he knew it wasn't the guy that he had shot in the last episode.
It was me, the mole man.
So now he knows that it's Gaia, and so he goes ahead and he's like, turn around, as he's got a gun on her. She's like, no, you're going to look me in the face as you shoot me.
Shoots her, and she reverts back to being her Skrull form. But wait, she might. Yeah, we do that.
Did we see her go back into a Skrull?
Yes.
Skrull form?
Yep.
Oh, I think she chose to do that. So,
okay.
But
I think
listen,
the scene goes ahead. It shows her get shot. She hits the ground, and then it focuses on the car.
Yeah.
Driving.
I think she got a shoulder wound. I think she's alive still.
I think she was faking dying in front of him because
I'd say the camera didn't focus on her as long as it did like on Maria Hill when she died. Yeah. So I don't think she's dead. I think this is a misdirect.
Yep.
Don't worry, they'll bring her back. They have her at Krakoa.
Krakoa. Shut up.
That's gonna be the X-Men when they bring it back in the MCU. Good sweet Krakoa X-Men. It's gonna have mutants, fascists, and dinosaur eggs.
Yeah, because every other time, there haven't been that many people that died on this show yet. Like there was the guy who was posing as Martin Freeman, and then there was Maria Hill. And those are the only two that I can think of that were of any like consequence that died, and both times the camera
Anybody we actually cared about.
yeah, and both times the camera actually like stays on them after they die.
They make sure you know, hey, these people are kind of dead. But Gaia, I think they want to fake her death because then you can get a little more out of Ben Mendelsohn, which he's already giving so much.
He's getting a lot, yeah.
I'm ready to get more. And then like we said, it's revealed that Fury's wife, her phone, which Fury, I guess, maybe doesn't check, or maybe he does. We'll have to wait and see.
He just looks at it, and then she says something. I can't give you the information right now. He's like, "Oh, is everything all right?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure, everything's good." And then she kisses him, and she walks away, leaves her phone on the desk. He looks at it, and he's debating whether he should trust her or not. And then he just leaves. But we do know that, she's later on.
So, I want to say that I don't think, and he means dies, not does. Everyone who dies, Nick Fury gets blamed. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he already feels guilty about Maria, and he does blame himself because Maria was warning him, hey, I don't think you're ready for this. You're going to get somebody hurt. It was her.
And plus the fact that it was Graphic disguised as him, too.
And I think that Ben Mendelsohn's going to tear himself apart because he put his own daughter at risk for information. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't Fury pushing, hey, use her. And like anytime he understood the connections, he could be a little bit forceful, but I don't remember him really being an asshole about that. So something tells Maranya that they will be replacing that one British guy with another Skrull since they have him in the tank to siphon memories from. Maybe. I think so. Yes, you are foiled, little radar.
Yeah, overall, I think this was my one problem with this episode. I did like it, but it seemed like as things were starting to pick up, that boom, that's where the episode cuts off and ends. Like seriously, so Fury's wife goes to a bank and she's in a safety deposit box room. They open the box and she pulls out a gun. So she's got a gun. And then she gets a phone call and she's expecting to talk to Gravik, but she's talking to somebody else. It doesn't say who it is. So I'm like, oh, this is getting interesting. And then that's where the episode ends. So that was my one beef. As soon as the episode started to like really get me hooked in, then it ended. I was like, seriously?
Chances are she's probably talking to Pagan, the second in command.
Oh, well, maybe. But overall, not a bad episode. I think I like the second one a tiny bit more. It's halfway. I think it's only 6 episodes in the season, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like halfway through. I kind of needed to pick up the pace.
My biggest fear is that talking about shows that could be shortened, Kenobi, that clearly should have just been a 2-hour movie. I don't want to feel that way with this, and I almost don't because unlike Kenobi, they had writers who actually gave a damn for most of the show. I feel like everything that we've seen is important, but at the same time, I'm wondering if pacing, like Zach is saying, if it would have been better served as basically a movie, like a special event, something.
Yeah.
Not 6 episodes.
I feel like this might have been kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy had that holiday special, or there was the Werewolf by Night special. This could be a little bit longer than that. Like maybe make it like a 2-part event, maybe. But I don't feel like you need this much. I don't know. I don't know. I gotta wait to see the full product before I can really give my full thoughts. But yeah, it just feels like it's like dragging its feet a little bit. We're getting some cool stuff over these first 3 episodes, but it's like I feel like it really needs to pick up the pace and like get hustling on the second
so
half.
I have 2 things I want to say. Rhaegar, don't get foiled. Avoid the Illuminati. And then also, my biggest complaint is instead of having Christopher McDonald come in and play Chris Stearns, this a news reporter, why don't we have J.K. Simmons as?
Isn't he playing a politician? I thought he was a
No,
politician, not a
he's
reporter.
a news anchor. Or news,
Is he? Okay.
why don't we have J.K. Simmons in playing, well,
I think
what do you
that'd
think?
be
I want J. Jonah Jameson as a Skrull.
No, his hate for Spider-Man has to be real. It can't be Skrull.
They'd have to make a deal with Sony for that, I think, probably. And Marvel, I don't feel wants to deal with Sony as much as possible because Sony, they do most of the work.
And then he's forced to be saved by Spider-Man. He's like, God, Spider-Man's working with all these Skrulls.
Maranya, it's not a hot take that you think Rhodey is a Skrull. You've never liked this Rhodey.
Actually, hot take. Rhodey's been a Skrull this whole entire time.
It's not a hot take. A hot take is that...
Like ever since Iron Man 2?
Iron Man 2, he's been a Skrull.
Watch it! Oh, how wild would it be if they go and they find Terrence Howard in one of those chambers where they have him like knocked out?
Yeah.
But the Skrull for some reason couldn't turn into Terrence Howard, so it turned into John Cheadle. So the whole casting, the whole recasting is because he got replaced by a Skrull.
He wanted paid more than the star for Iron Man 2. I don't think he's showing up for a second in Secret Invasion.
I don't believe
he is either, but
I think they should have paid him more because he's better than John Cheadle any day.
I like Don Cheadle. Okay, Don Cheadle as an actor, is really good. I like him.
Honestly, his War Machine role is the only role.
At this point, I'd rather have Tim Meadows, the better looking John Cheadle, who can act as Rhodey, the ladies' man.
Rhodey's not.
Be careful, you're verging on Zach territory. You just said that they could equal each other.
Don Cheadle is the crappy version of Tim Meadows, the SNL cast member.
How are the two similar? They're completely. Tim Meadows is the comedian. Don Cheadle doesn't do comedy.
Yeah, John Cheadle sucks.
Okay, but Rhodey isn't a comedic character, though.
Doesn't have to be.
He's not like...
You can still have Tim Meadows be
Tim Meadows is pretty much exclusively a comedic actor. Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
I've never seen him do a serious... Not saying he couldn't. I've just never seen him do a serious role. Or an actor.
I don't think this is the case, bro. I think that's you hoping.
He would have turned into a Skrull if he was dead. Yeah.
That's right.
I say that as somebody that wouldn't mind him coming back, but
I thought about things with Chris Evans could be a Skrull too, but then he went back in time. Why would the Skrull go back in time?
That's true. Yeah.
Unless he changed things.
He went and placed his Skrull sperm there, and the Skrulls have been there a lot earlier. You're disturbed, as you should be.
I don't want to go down this rabbit hole.
Zach, he's a Skrull variant.
Speaking of Five Nights at Freddy's, I think Zach is a Skrull.
The wrinkled chin, that's what the beard is hiding.
For 10 years, no movie abortion machine movie. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, it was nice
be a better Rhodey?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Young Will... I just watched Independence Day yesterday. It's like a tradition me and my brother have. I think young Will Smith would have been an awesome Rhodey.
Nah.
Him in an Iron Man suit, like when he first puts it on, saying, "I got to get me one of these," like in Independence Day. Yeah, he would have been a good Rhodey.
They would only work if they made Captain Marvel Margaret Robbie.
Why would that work?
Because having him date in the MCU.
See, if I was in charge of the MCU, I would not follow the comics in that way. I would have Rhodey.
The thing is, though,
he's right though.
Manages to do bad things that were done in comics, and they come out. Look at Miss Marvel in the show; it's great.
Quickly, I want to point out though he has a point though. No War Machine. That's how shitty War Machine was in the MCU. They didn't give him a bother a movie or nothing.
He's going to have Armor Wars.
Yeah, they got Armor Wars.
It's too late. Coming. They should have done it during the Avengers stuff.
I don't know.
Anthony Mackie as Rhodey's even better choice. Yeah.
Nah, I like him as Falcon. Actually, I think he fits as Falcon.
He's not Falcon. He's Captain America.
I still call him
Captain America.
I call him Captain Falcon.
I stand with. I like Eric Breen even admitted at one point that if you wanted to look at a role like Captain America, it makes sense that would be a role that you can pass on to another person. It can be a legacy, and Rhodey is one of the logical, like, if he were to take that role, it's an honorific. He's taking on the honor of Captain America. His Falcon in the MCU isn't really as notable as Falcon was in the comics, because Falcon in the comics had time with his identity. He fully fleshed it out. He became who he was. Falcon in the MCU is simply a guy that was on a secret government project who got wings. And that's it. It wasn't that he was it's like a superhero because of that. The only reason he's notable is because of his friendship with Steve in this. He didn't have his time to shine. So Captain Falcon makes sense in the MCU compared to him just being Falcon.
Yeah. I'll concede that.
And if you guys want more Maria Hill, go check out Moon Girl and Devil Dancer. That's where Kobe Smulders is now.
Yeah, it's very weird. That show is very weird because it has Samuel L. Jackson reprising his role as Nick Fury to voice act it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But Moon Girl is smarter than Reed Richards. Dr. Doom.
Apparently, Bill Foster's there too with the Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
All the dead characters in the MCU are now on the cartoon. No,
he didn't die though.
He didn't die.
Bill Foster
I thought Bill Foster
he went to jail.
In the comics, he died in Civil War, but in Ant-Man and the Wasp, he is very much alive at the end. But nobody watches Ant-Man and the Wasp, so nobody talks about it. Even though Ant-Man and the Wasp is honestly greater than a lot of people give it credit for.
See, it just had that weird placing between
it was right.
Infinity War and Endgame.
It was literally the last movie before, or no, I think it might have come out before Captain Marvel.
It was before Captain Marvel.
Okay, so it was Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, then Captain Marvel. But yeah.
I loved Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
I loved it until they just stopped. They stopped caring about following along the movies because, to be fair, they couldn't follow it. They didn't. The Marvel TV and the MCU weren't working together. Ike Perlmutter wasn't working with Kevin Feige and all that. So
I thought it was Jeff Loeb that was on the television thing.
Wasn't it both of them?
Ike Perlmutter, I think, was over the movies.
No.
Oh, I could be wrong. I know Jeff Loeb was in charge of the television stuff because anytime something was wrong with one of the Netflix shows, like he was the one that people ultimately blamed.
I will say that, Rhaegar, I think season 5 was actually good too. After they went ahead and settled what it was, that, okay, the Earth is destroyed because of blah, 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 and it started making sense. So, and then it ended with the name drop of Thanos coming to Earth and leading up into Infinity War, which was the same night. That season finale and that movie premiered on the same night. It was spectacular.
So I'm going to ask guys, who's going to be the third female to get killed on this show?
Yeah.
Olivia Colman.
I honestly, because there's a Twitter and social media are blowing up because they complain it's the second woman to be killed on this show.
They killed like 4 guys. Four men got killed on the show. And then
they killed Kobe Smulders, which everybody was loving, wanted to be back for a while. They haven't seen her since the Age of Ultron, I guess.
No, she was around in something.
It's a very small, and Gravik is going to die. There's no reasoning with that.
They killed that one guy the last episode, the guy who'd been tortured.
Yeah, and you're supposed to feel bad during that scene because, that's what it. There's a cause here. There is a cause here that the flag stompers and Falcon and Winter Soldier didn't care about. And speaking of Falcon and Winter Soldier, I will say that the show totally it built up the other way around. Mm-hmm. Falcon didn't want to be Captain America because he felt like an imposter and all that, and the show was bringing him to the point where he could accept that. take the shield and he could do the mission. Yeah. What else?
Yeah,
What else?
I can't wait till they use extremists. So
Yeah, but these are what the Flag Smashers wanted to be. The Skrulls have been. They were told by Telos, "Hey, come to Earth. We have a place that you can be safe." And Nick Fury wasn't prepared for that. He didn't know that was happening, so they kind of infiltrated the Earth without the go-ahead, and they needed a home. And Nick Fury did fail them that way. So did Carol Danvers, but nobody can hold her accountable. She never does anything.
Yeah.
No, it's just simply that miscommunication, people getting snapped away for years, and then sadly you get to this point where the Skrulls go ahead and they've been hiding so long that they want to be themselves. Let's see. To me, season 3 and ruin the show. Any good character development?
I don't know.
I understand what you kind of mean. Oh no.
Is off topic. Tom Cruise came out and say he's like, as long as they're off me, I'll do Mission Impossible in my 80s.
Yeah, it was the Mysterio one. See, the good that's a different topic. I can't get into my problems.
Where's my Mysterio cereal?
Mysterious.
I am ready to monologue.
It's like alphabet soup, but it had alphabets. Remember that the cereal?
No,
Except
it's regular.
And it has Mysterio on there. I read a monologue.
No, it's regular cereal. You just put it in a fishbowl.
What are we talking about?
I was talking about Mysterios. Marvel could just make basically a version of Cheerios called Mysterios.
Yeah, and then they gave you a fishbowl to eat it out of. Because Mysterio has a fishbowl helmet.
It's not that difficult. Anyway,
anyway,
overall, this is a good episode. I think that the next one will be really good too. I think it's good.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed every single one, but I think it is getting better, and we just need to see it get to its conclusion before we make our final judgments of the show.
Yeah, and Zach, giving him the fishbowl, they'd just be milking it.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, check out the Ko-Fi. And you can mention the name of a comic, and we will try to read it soon.
For just $1, you can choose the next reading.
You can make us suffer.
Yep.
Yes.
You can be the author of our torture, or your torture if we
$1 a day.
Mutually disturbed.
Mutually an angel.
Goodbye.
Farewell.